This program is sponsored by Dave Stahl.
Air on. Power on.
It's time to take your place on the starting grid and get ready for Racer Radio. Your host, Dave Stahl, about to take you for a white-knuckled lap around the motorsports industry, covering everything from top-notch national drivers and crew chiefs right down to your local kid racers and racetracks. Watch for the apex, because here comes Racer Radio with Dave Stahl.
All right, folks, welcome back. You are listening to FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The Answer.
This segment is brought to you by Bumper Dock Santee. Go to 8711 Magnolia Street for scratches, dings, and dents. Bumper Dock Santee, they are absolutely the best. Go to Santee Bumper Dock. And Black Forest Motorsports for all your BMW, Mini, and Porsche needs. Black Forest Motorsports has got over 40 years experience. That's blackforestautomotive.com. And if you have a business like a grocery store, liquor store, or even a retail store, and you can't get employees, which is a big deal right now, how about self-checkout? That's right. Go to Southwest Point of Sale. They will hook you up, and you won't need those customers. You'll save all kinds of money. 800-540-2149. Talk to Jeff, Mark, Beth, Ted, Tony, and Ramon. Any one of them can help you. And the bonus is they'll service your facility 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, no questions asked. Southwest Point of Sale. Call them, 800-540-2149. Well, I got Brittany Sandoval in the house. How you doing, kiddo?
I am wonderful.
She got to drive the race car.
I haven't been out on the track at all since November of 2019, and I haven't been at Verona since October of 18. Wow. So it's so nice to be back.
So just to give people an update, you've basically rebuilt the car.
I stripped it down and replaced every single nut and bolt.
Yeah.
Everything is new on that.
All the bushings and...
Yep, and new fuel lines, some of the electrical, painted the chassis. She needed it. She was resting on her belly.
She really looked pretty.
Yeah, and put in power steering.
And got 60 laps under your belt.
I love it. And yeah, I'm sore and bruised and like swollen on my shoulders and my back.
Okay, so for folks that have got a dwarf car without
which
power
aren't many
steering,
people now.
what would be your advice?
Get it.
Yeah.
So the two biggies are a quick change and or
which is
power
a differential for folks that don't know what a quick change is.
Yes, and so like those are the two biggies that people are starting to, or in the last couple of years, starting to change over to. And I went for the power steering over the quick change.
That'll be next year.
Nah, you know.
Well, unless you go traveling again, you don't really need a quick change, do you?
Correct, or you can just change out your gears. I have a couple pumpkins that I can change out.
Which is not that difficult.
Correct. If you have the right people and the right attitude, it's fine.
So what was it about the power steering that really, on the top of your list?
The first thing that stood out is I could see the ruts more than I could feel them, which for the last 5 years, like when there's a rut, coming in or out of a turn, you really get disrupted, and including the steering wheel in your hand. That's the whole reason. That's one of the big reasons. My last race, 2019, Harvest Hustle, there was a huge rut coming out of 2. And when I would hit it, because sometimes that's the only line you have, the steering wheel was being ripped out of my hands. Like literally, I'd get air and my hands are elsewhere. They're not on the steering wheel.
Wow.
And I remember saying that after the race. Tony out of Ventura, he's all, yeah, when you were in the air, I knew I could finally do a clean pass on you. I'm all, I had.
Because you had no control.
I had no control. And that's when Darren Brown stepped in. He's all, if you'd had power steering, that wouldn't have happened. So at the track, there were some minor ruts that I could hardly feel on Friday night at practice in my hands.
Okay, so why would power steering make the ruts go away?
I am no expert on this. This was literally the first time on Friday night ever with it. It dampens it. I have no idea. I'm the wrong person to ask.
You had better control.
Absolutely. Like I said, now I see them rather than feel them. Where it used for 5 years of racing,
Right.
I would certainly feel
Sure.
them long before I ever saw them. You know,
Now,
you're
did
looking
you
down
keep
the track.
did you keep track of your lap times?
No, I did
Because I was
not.
just curious if you've improved,
well,
or do you feel like you have?
right. Keeping in mind I haven't been in the car for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And my coach, I had and my sensei, they're like, all we want you to do is just relax, and just start getting used to the power
car.
steering.
Yeah.
And it came real quick. Like, I loved it the first time I was off the
You
track.
went,
I was
"Ooh,
already a believer.
I like this.
Yes. And so then by the second time, I'm like, well, now I'm going to start, getting used to other things that I haven't done for a year and a half, tapping the brake to get the rear end to come around. And so it came pretty quick. I would say the one thing I still need to work on, I had the wiggles coming out of turn 4 where I start to correct, but I'm overcorrecting.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
had slight wiggles. But other than that, it came a lot quicker than I thought. And I wasn't the only one. Devin Kelly, who went on to win last night, he was trying power steering for the first time as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
So we're one of the last ones. But I called Patrick this morning. He and Eric are the owners of Apex Contracting and Restoration, and they're the ones that got the power steering for me. And I was so excited to thank him and tell him all about it. And I told him about it not ripping the steering wheel out of my hand. And
Yeah.
he's like, I totally get it. He's trying to get power steering for his buggy as well. So I think he was excited that I was over the moon.
So the first 5 laps, you were just thrilled to death.
I smiled the whole night.
Okay, now the last 5 laps. The last 5 laps, would you say was a major improvement from the first 5 laps
Well,
to the
so
last 5?
I went out 6 times.
No, I know, but I mean, I'm giving you the first 5 of the
Yes.
first run, and then the last 5 of the 6th run.
Right. And that's what I was going to answer. I went out 60 laps, and my best ones were 50 through 60.
I was just going
Like,
to say.
normally I'd be so wasted, my
yeah.
little arms here, especially not being in race-ready shape right
Sure.
now. I could usually only do about 50, and by then I was like, Dad, I got to pull on the trailer by now. And then I went out a 6th time, and that was when I was really starting to feel good. And like,
Yeah.
okay, it's coming back. Like literally 50, 51, 52. And it was really no problem.
And the
So-
car ran well?
Yeah, she did great. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Oh, it was wonderful. Darren Brent really was a big part of tearing it all down and
Putting it all back
putting
together.
it all together. His dad, Greg Brent, stopped by a few times. David Taft. I think he worked on my electrical.
Okay. Okay.
So it's a team.
Yeah.
It was wonderful to be out there. I had a little moment. It was just so good to be back in staging at Verona. It's really hard as a spectator to be in staging
You
at
think?
Verona. It's really hard. I'm happy for my boys when they're going out there,
But
it's not easy.
but
So it's wonderful to be at the home track in staging when the sun was starting to go down, but the blue of the sky, and they've got a lot more American flags up there right now. I don't know. I just noticed them on Friday night.
will you quit
And
noticing things?
I was in staging. I wasn't going around in circles. I was in staging, and it was just like, it's good to be home
Yeah.
kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was really, and everyone was laid back. Nick Novak came by a few times,
Yeah.
collected money, and it was good to see him.
And how'd the new belts work out?
They're good and tight. That's why my shoulders are still swollen, I think.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So everything you did was a bonus to the car.
Yeah, I think everything's settling. So I didn't go to the races on Saturday because I want to race so bad now. I'm like, I got it. I worked on the house yesterday from sunup to sundown. I worked on it again from sunup till I came here today. I'm like, I have got to finish this so I can start racing.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Um,
concentrate on racing.
Yeah, I don't want to do either half.
So do you
know
think
what,
you
so-
should do exercises? I mean, do you think you
Yes.
should work on your
Still.
body now?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think there is that. Yeah, you don't want to lose because I learned that the hard way in Mojave in 2019. I know I lost 2 positions in
Just
the main
because
because
you're-
I have
You
fatigue.
ran out of gas,
Yeah.
so
and-
to speak.
Yeah, and I'm not going to rely wholly on the power steering. I love it. I'm a believer. I'm thankful. Love it. But still,
Yeah.
even just the mental side of it, just work on mental endurance as well. Just
Right,
pushing
well-
as you're getting tired.
Yeah. And you still have to go out with 5, 10, 15 other cars here pretty soon.
Oh yeah.
And that's even more fun.
Yeah.
But at least you'll be able to work your way through the crowds or through the group. Now with a car you can control.
Yeah. Well,
And you can actually hang on for the whole time.
Yeah. I kept coming out at turn 4 and in the straightaway, and I was like, I feel relaxed. That was the big thing. Just stay relaxed, stay relaxed,
And learn to breathe.
Oh yeah, breathing's important.
I know. I always had a problem with that.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break. You're all listening to Racer Radio, FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.